Hey everyone, it's Brittany again. I'm back with another installment of my video log. This time I'm going to talk about things to do after you've been accepted. I got my little notepad here, Disney College Program. I also forgot to tell you guys that I did do the Disneyland program, so if you are watching this for information about Disney World, things are a little bit different. You are welcome to watch, but things are a little bit different in Disney World, so don't quote me on any of this when it comes to Disney World. So for Disneyland, after being accepted, you're gonna obviously pay your money. Yeah, you're gonna get an email after being accepted to after accepting your offer of being in the program. You're gonna get an email saying to submit your program fees. What the fees are is a $100 program fee, a $200 security deposit, if this is for housing, obviously, $200 security deposit for housing, and then a $560 rent, which is your first 4 weeks of rent. So when you get to the program, you don't have to worry about rent for the first 4 weeks. You can just work and make money, which is good because you don't work very much your first 4 weeks. It's crazy. You're going through traditions and maybe California Story and training, and you're getting used to your job. So it's definitely really nice that they have us pay the 4 weeks in advance. So that is for the fees, and then after that they're going to send you an email about selecting your program date. Now for housing and local, depending on which program you're in, the dates are going to be different. For housing, I believe the only day to check in is August 20th. The times do differ, like I'm checking in at 9:15 in the morning. I know there's an 8:30. For my previous program it was either 8 or 9. So I know they've made things a little bit more complicated now. But yeah, you don't get to choose your time this time around. You come in August 20th, you leave January 5th. This is for fall, not fall advantage. Yeah, so when you are selecting your date, you do not get to choose what time. You don't know that until a little while after you choose your date. They'll send you an email with the time on it to check in, which kind of sucks a little bit, but it's fine. Now, on that email that says what time that you're going to check into housing, it has these little squares at the bottom, and it tells you to visit the onboarding website. Now for you first timers, the onboarding website is basically your Bible. It has a lot of very useful information. Right now I'm just going to talk about what you should look at. Right now there are some things that you can look at further when we get closer to moving in, but right now I'm just going to talk about what you should look at. There is a checklist on the onboarding website for things that you should start getting together. Make sure you have like employment eligibility documents. Those are things like your driver's license and social security card, a passport, things like that. So Disney knows that you are able to work in the United States. Just go ahead and go on there. There's a full list of things that you can bring in that will be okay for them to know that you are eligible to work in the United States. Renter's insurance. You don't really necessarily have to secure renter's insurance right now. It's kind of for me anyways, it was kind of a complicated process because most renter's insurance companies, or insurance companies in general, make their insurance for a full year. So I used USAA. Renter's insurance isn't that much. I paid $10 a month yeah, with that, just make sure you have the address of the apartments we're going to be living at, which is 180 West Center Street Promenade, Anaheim, California, 85 something. I don't know. But I'll get to renter's insurance in a later video log as well when we get closer. But do start looking for companies for renter's insurance. Also, medical insurance, it's not required like renter's insurance is, but if you are graduating from school or whatever and your parents can't have you on their insurance anymore, definitely start looking for that. I know Disney does offer medical insurance for its employees, so you can definitely look into that as well. Definitely get in contact or stay in contact with Disney. Add them on Twitter, find them on Facebook, like everywhere. Just find them. Definitely the specifically the Disneyland College Program Twitter, because when you are in the program, they do Twitter contests every Friday and you can win some Disney swag is what they call it. So definitely get in contact with them. On the checklist there are medical and religious forms for medical and religious accommodations. So if you need special accommodations for housing or work or something like that, and costuming, like if you need to wear like a headdress or something, definitely look at those forms and fill them out. Start making travel plans now, especially if you are across the country and coming to California. Definitely look into flights now. Just if you are going to drive, obviously start looking at what things in your room / apartment or whatever that you're going to bring. First timers make the mistake, I was guilty of it, of bringing too many things. You're sharing an apartment with up to 4 people, so definitely start looking at what you use and what you don't use. So that's a big thing. Another thing on the checklist is school. If you are getting credit for the program, definitely be in contact with your university, your school. Make sure they know what you're doing. If you aren't getting credit like me, like you basically don't have to do anything. For my first program, I just had to make sure that they that financially knew that I wasn't going to be a full-time student. Residence Life needed to know that I wasn't going to be in housing for the spring semester. So just get things like that taken care of with your school. Another thing on the onboarding website is the new hire portal. Now, we don't have access to this right now, but you will be getting an email with the username and password that will get you onto the new hire portal, and there's just going to be tons of forms that you need to fill out for work, basically just work. They're pretty self-explanatory, but when it comes to submitting them, they're picky about what browser you use, what kind of computer you have. It does depend on that. So when we get to that, when we start getting those emails, I'll definitely have more on that later. Something else on the onboarding website is the course registration. Now, you can access it right now, but don't try to register right now because it's still on the spring the spring page, because for Spring Advantage they have two sections, so they have to take 2 classes, so they still have to register for a class, so it's not ready for us to register for a class yet. So don't try and register yet, it's just for the future. Definitely review the Disney look. Like if you have like a lip piercing like me, I definitely have visible tattoos. Think about your role. I know some of you don't know your locations yet, but definitely think about how you want to cover those up. I know some locations require tattoo covering makeup over bandages. I didn't have these ones, I don't know if you can see them, during my other program, but I do have one behind my ear that I would just a little secret. You know, a Band-Aid has like 2 like sticky parts and then like the bandage on the middle. I would just like rip off the sticky part and just stick it on there. So for all of you that have small tattoos, that's definitely something that can just make sure you get like skin color tattoos. Like bright blue isn't gonna work. Look over the housing info if you are in housing. There's gonna be like paperwork to fill out later, but there's a ton of information about housing on there, so definitely look at that now. There's also your main entrance pass information on the onboarding website. I'm going to have a video about the perks of being a cast member, so all of that will be on there, but you can definitely look over your main entrance pass information. For those of you that don't know, your main entrance pass is these this little card. It's blue for us. Some people have silver, like managers have silver, normal cast members have blue, and it's how you get people into the park for free. You get 3 park hoppers 16 different times during the course of a year. So there are blockout dates that we do have to watch out for, but I'll definitely have more information on that later. Go play Mission Timekeeper. I loved it. It's a Disney Heritage game. Like you're in a little spaceship and like you go around to all these planets, and each planet is a different like section of Disney history. Like there's cruise lines, there's parks and resorts, there's Walt Disney's like life. So I think there's like 9 of them. I don't remember, it's been a while, but definitely play that. It doesn't take very long, but then again, I did pull a couple on all-nighters playing that game. So it's really interesting to just like know all of that information. You don't have to do it, it's not required, but it's super fun, and it's a good thing, because when you get your traditions and you're learning all of this again, like if someone has a question and you answer it correctly, there might be like a little prize in there for you during tradition. So definitely play Mission Timekeeper. Now on the email with your like date and time to come check in, there is a box that says Meet Chris and Tony. Do not click on it. Do not watch the videos with Chris and Tony if you are in the Disneyland program, because it is all about Florida. All of it. So don't bother, because it's all about Florida, the Florida program. There's nothing about Disneyland in there. So yeah, some of the things are the same, but it's just not relevant to Disneyland. If you have any other questions about the onboarding website, about what to do next after being accepted, definitely comment and ask me your questions. You can private message me, anything. Until then, have a magical day.